Hello everyone, Rancher Dan here. We are here in sunny, hot Tucson, Arizona, and I'm fixing to embark on an adventure where I get to pack up my lovely elderly aunt and move her 1,900 miles across the country from Tucson to Ohio. And my brother has shown up graciously to help get her packed. We're gonna rent a truck later, and we're gonna go get some boxes and some coffee and breakfast here in a minute. And we're gonna try and get her packed up, and then in a couple of days, I'm gonna get in her very small car with 2 dogs and a cat and her, and we're gonna try and drive 900 miles to my farm in Texas, and then we're gonna see how that part of the trip goes and see if I need to switch to my much bigger, more comfortable vehicle and drive the rest of the way in that and tow her car. So here we go, folks. Update. We got to my aunt's house. It's pretty small. It's very dusty. A lot of animal hair. So definitely gonna have to get some allergy medicine or something, some eye drops, I don't know. And we're probably about halfway there though. I'd say getting it all squared away. It's not a lot, but we're in Tucson and we're driving through the neighborhood. We're gonna go run an errand and get some lunch, go get our moving truck, and we got my brother here.
What is that? Is that the Dan clan?
The Dan Cam.
Can't see it.
So yeah, that's an update. Found a big old bag of pennies. We're gonna go Coinstar that, and we'll get some drinks and some sandwiches and get the truck, come back, and I bet you we'll be ready to go and done. I bet by 5 or earlier, because there's just not a lot really, thankfully, because her whole house is about the size of a small 1-car garage or 2-car garage, so it's not a lot. Anyways, continuing on. Oh, well, folks, there it is. That is one loaded truck. We're almost done. Just about got the house empty. Thing that we're keeping loaded and everything we're carrying with us on our trip boxed up. Got all. You hush. And there's the dog. Finish all this up. We're gonna go unload this truck in the storage building and then go eat dinner. And then we got a few more things to do tomorrow before we get on the road on Saturday. Okay, it's day 2, Friday, car repair day. I've rented a bay in an automotive shop by the hour, so I have access to car lifts and tools, and got to figure out what's going on with my aunt's car because it was doing some weird stuff last night. It was sputtering, had some weird noises coming from the front suspension, and sounds like there's a CV axle issue, but may or may not be urgent need. But first, we're going to go to Paco's Tacos, and we're going to get some breakfast tacos, because you can't work on a car without a proper breakfast, and you can't be in Tucson, Arizona without eating at Paco. We'll see you when we're working on the car. Well, we're on our way to a shop called You Wrench It here in Tucson. You can rent a shop bay for $50 an hour. I'm sure there's, like 15-minute, I think they said something about 15-minute intervals or a certain amount and this and that. And you can rent tools. And you get the use of their bay. They have a lift you can put on the car, and I'm sure you can hear the car. I don't know what that is. Feels like maybe a engine mount. I know there's a CV axle clickety-clacketies going on, but this weird sputtering noise, it's kind of concerning. Not sure what that is. So this car was in a little wreck. Apparently my aunt was in a parking lot and she hit some sort of a concrete parking lot light protective barrier or something, and apparently very hard because she pushed the entire right hand passenger side fender straight back, and it obstructs the door now from opening all the way. So I gotta try to fix that, or at least make it where it'll open. So that's gonna get creative with some creative body work. The back passenger or driver's side back door also kind of catches a little when you try to open it. So that's kind of shit tells me that there's maybe some frame damage. That she hit that thing a lot harder than she thinks she did. We're gonna go and we're gonna try and get the hood open because it's kind of whopper jawed, and we're gonna change the oil for sure, and we're gonna see what this sputtering is. Here, listen. Can you hear that? Yeah, that's weird. I don't know if I want to drive 900 miles to try to get to my house in Texas so that I can swap vehicles and tow this one the rest of the way to Ohio. Alright, we'll see you at the shop. Alright, Rancher Dan here. Here's what we got. We got an engine mount right there. So we're in You Wrench It, nice shop. You get to rent a bay, use their lift by the hour. Make this video short. And we got a bad top engine mount right there. I'm gonna try and change that out today. And then we got some toasted brakes. We'll try to do the front brake, and looks like we can get by with back brakes just to get our trip done. And then the back brakes can be done later. Yeah, there's enough meat on those. So they let you use their tool. Got a nice cart there and toolbox, some Harbor Freight tools. So we're gonna change the oil, do an engine mount, and CB axles. They're toast too. But I think we can get by with them. Maybe we'll think about doing one. So I have to take the brake caliper off it. That's it for now. Your calipers up so they're not hanging on the brake wheel. So what do we got to do next? We got to take our steering arm loose. Rancher Dan here, and we're here with the owner of the You Wrench out here in sunny Tucson, Arizona. And You Wrench, it's a shop where you can rent a bay for 50 bucks an hour or so, and they rent you tools. And if you want to do your own work on your own car, but you just don't want to lay in the driveway in the dirt and the fire ants and everything else, come see this man right here on what, we on the north side of Tucson? Or
We're southwest.
southwest.
No, southeast side. Southeast side of Tucson. Yeah.
Tucson, and he'll get you. They have all the tools I've needed. I'm doing CV axles, brakes, oil change, the top motor mount. I've asked for a tool. They've had it, so it's a great place. And what's your name, sir?
Brandon.
Brandon. Come see Brandon at You Wrench.
Yes, sir.
In Tucson, Arizona. Status update. I decided to do CV axles. So they were pretty bad. Got this one pulled. That was a booger to get out. Yep. I'm gonna have to. That one seemed like it was falling apart. I will go ahead and change them.
Got all the parts you needed? Piece of machinery?
They say there was a full turn.
They didn't say. It was $800.
Tax.
Yeah. We could look at the receipt, I guess.
There's a quarter turn in the back, and you can probably get like 20 days.
Okay, let's take a look.
I think they rebuilt. All right, so, well, we did it, guys and gals. We replaced the brakes.
Okay, now the fun part.
We
Let's
replaced
take it all the way up.
both CV axles because they were bad.
Make sure that the
Of course, we had to run around and
go through
all over Tucson to find all the right parts. We don't have time for Amazon to deliver them and get a discount. And we got the front brakes done. We got the oil change. We got some fluids topped off. We got the engine mount replaced on the top. And we'll hopefully have mitigated driving eradication. And but we'll see when we test drive it, because it ain't coming back. It'll just have to go. So that's it for this part of the adventure. Thank you guys, and we will see you when we get on the road. New Mexico. Hey guys, it's day one of road trip portion of this adventure to move my aunt across the country, and we put in a long day. I think we rode over 500, almost 600 miles, about 11 hours or so. We're in Midland, Texas, in a nice hotel. My aunt is in her own room, thankfully, with her critters, and it's about 11:30 at night. So I'm just gonna watch a little bit of news, see what the latest is on this new war that we're in now here in the US, and then I'm gonna go to sleep. Probably unwillingly wake up after in the 6 o'clock hour. There is a coffee maker here in the room. And this hotel probably has a nicer breakfast than the one I was at previously, which was granola bars. So, good night. Alright guys, well, it's day 2 of driving. I think we're going to change up our schedule because it's really hard to, on the pets that we have with us and my aunt, to do a really long, hard driving days. So what I think I want to do, I'm going to change my work schedule for this week, and I'm going to work Monday and Tuesday, and then I'm going to replace my days off that I would have had Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, so that I can have more time to get my aunt another 1,000 miles up the road, 1,200 miles, and not be in a big rush, and then have time to rest a little bit when I get there, visit with some family, and then fly back home. I think I can get a one-way ticket for a reasonable price if I get it soon. So that's what it is. And I got a couple of pooches that need to be walked this morning, so I'm gonna go see if my aunt's awake. But those dogs need to leave some gifts for this hotel. I'm out. Hi everyone, Rancher Dan here. We are back in the garage, and we got my aunt's car from Arizona to Texas, and my aunt and her 2 dogs and her cat and about 0.5% of her stuff. So as you saw, we did a lot of work to this car. We put new motor mount, CV axles, front brakes, oil change, all the other fluid. We cleaned up the car a little bit. We put it all back together and we drove. Then about 30 miles from the house, the farm, the ranch, the Rancher Dan's garage, the tire really started to shake and shimmy and shudder, and I was like, oh no, is this thing gonna blow out a few miles from my house and make me have to get out, change the tire, and then be home in 10 minutes? Well, fortunately, it did not blow, but it literally minutes from blowing, I would say. It's now in the shop. We've taken the wheels off, and I've taken them down to Discount Tire and got cheap $100 a piece tires, enough to get me the rest of the way down up to Ohio. And I bought another transmission mount, probably also trash due to the vibration that's still in the motor, and a rear transmission mount. So the engine and transmission should be well firmly attached to the car's frame after today and for the rest of this car's life, hopefully. That's what we're going to do today. We're going to check out everything else because I was on the clock in that other shop in Arizona. Now I'm in my shop and I'm only on the clock because we're going to leave tomorrow morning and we're going to drive to Memphis and the car needs to be ready. So first we got to take this plastic trim off, valance or whatever you want to call it, wipers. Then we got to take off this brake fluid reservoir. We got to remove the air box and the battery box, and that should give us access to the main transmission mount, and then underneath on the back there is a transmission mount as well. And let's see if my son put it in here like I asked him to, because I had to order that one on Amazon because I did not see it at O'Reilly's. They have different styles of mounts for these particular cars. And you got to make sure you get the right one. The same engine goes in Lincoln MKZs and other Ford vehicles, but they have different mounting points. It was one of the problems we had in Arizona. They gave me an engine mount that was not what I needed. It was the wrong one. So based on the one that's under the car, this looks like the proper one. So this goes on the back underneath. So there's where we're at, folks. Let's get started. Hammer time. Now we got to take all these clips off. Plastic piece on. There are 7 clips, it looks like. Missing my 10mm. Always the 10mm. Yeah, I watched a YouTube video on how to do this, which is why I'm not sitting here scratching my head, figuring out how to get this piece off and that piece off. That's broke because she had a wreck. Of course, they like to mix it up at Ford, use different types of bolts and nuts, annoyingly. All right, let's take loose the breather. Fortunately, this is the non-turbo, which means it's gutless. Stuff to have to take off to get to this mount. I believe the one that was on the YouTube channel was a turbo. There was a whole lot more tubes to take off. I'm gonna replace that. Alright folks, we're almost there. Gonna unhook this battery. Now, what was holding this battery box down? Battery box out, and now we have access to our transmission mount. All right, now we get to support the transmission. Find piece of wood. Get down on my knees. Transmission supported. Yeah, this mount looks like it's shot too. And let's go get our new mount. Recording a minute ago, but that is the old engine mount. That's not supposed to happen. And I apologize if I was not recording when I installed the new one. It's in there. My bad. Sliding the battery back in. And finally, the windshield wipers, which were one of the few things that looked like they hadn't been all worn out forever. All right, now I got to do the one on the bottom. So there it is right there, and it shouldn't be too difficult. So I'm not going to film it, but there it is. We can go ahead and replace that. Then I believe this car is ready for another 1,200-mile hike on to Ohio. So we'll see you when we get on the road. Well, here we are on the road, but we're not in my aunt's car because we got about a mile out of town and the transmission went out. How about that? So, decided to rent a car, and then we went back to the house and I got in the vehicle with my wife to go get the rental car, and we're going down the road and somebody's load of trash flies off of their trailer and smashes into my car and damages my car to the point where we can't drive it. So I had to back home again, get another vehicle to go get the rental car. So we did finally get the rental car back to the house, got everybody loaded, the doggies and Aunt Shirley and the kitty, affectionately named Car Wreck. And now we're stuck in traffic in Dallas in the rain. But we're in a Kia Telluride that has adaptive cruise that works very well. So I'm utilizing that. It has lane keep assist and assisted steering, so I'm using that as well. So hopefully we'll be out of this traffic, make a pit stop, and then we'll see how far we get till I decide I don't want to drive any longer. Pretty sure we're not going to get to our goal of Memphis, Tennessee, because I really don't feel like pulling in after midnight. So maybe Little Rock. But right now we're only going like 2 miles. Rush hour traffic heading east on High 30 out of Dallas. That's it for now. We'll see you on the next one. Well, we're here in Louisville, Kentucky, at my sister's house. We're gonna chill here for about 2 or 3 hours till about lunchtime, and then we'll continue on the last 3-hour leg of our trip, and we'll finally be at our destination, my aunt's forever home. So let's see how the rest of the day goes. Well, we made it, folks. We made it to Waverly, Ohio, to Uncle Larry's house. We've gone through flying pieces of lumber and cars breaking down and dogs and cats, miles and miles of everything, and we finally made it. So I'll chill here tonight and most of tomorrow, and then I'll go to my hotel in Columbus, and I'll get on a plane early Sunday morning and go home. And then I'll be done with Rancher Dan's great adventure. So we'll see you on the next one.